Hello boys and girls, Lord Hawkeye here again. Well, after that rather serious note we left on last time, let's do something fun today. Now, this is going to be a rundown of all the factions in Mist of Pandaria, what the rewards are and how you get rep with them. Because I found that when you reach level 90, they kind of throw a whole bunch at you at once, and it gets a little bit confusing, even though they do have a bunch of NPCs trying to explain it as best they can. So, just going to do my part to hopefully maybe help some people out, so you can plan ahead, know what factions you should focus on first, and all that sort of thing. Now the first one we're going to look at is the Golden Lotus. These guys are important because you have to get revered with them in order to start gaining rep with several other factions, which we'll get into in a moment. Yeah, it's a little complicated. Now, this is the Quartermaster. Oh yeah, and you can now set some store owners to only show things applicable to your class and specialization, which is very nice. He's got a whole bunch of stuff here. I can't go into detail on all of it. You'll have to take my word on it. He's got level 450 blue items, as you can see here, and he's got level 489 purple items at Revered. Now something you might be picking up on is he's not charging gold for them, he's charging Valor and Justice points. Yep, Valor and Justice items are now part of faction rewards. It's kind of all been brought together. Not all of them, but for the most part this is how it is now, so once again, get rep with them various factions, and it can help you get a little leg up if you're having trouble getting into dungeons. And the other notable thing that the Golden Lotus has, you'll see here, is the riding cranes. Yep, new kind of mount. And something else that's new, tabards are now sold at Exalted. Yep, no more championing, you have to do quests for them now. Here's the Golden Lotus tabard. Rather nice looking, although kind of clashes with my armor. Right, and that's the Golden Lotus for you. Right, before we get to the next one, there's one other thing of note in this area. That is this vendor, who has the Phoenix mount. Looks like this. Quite nice looking. We got a free one in the beta, but I'm not going to get to keep it. Sad face. Anyways, she sells the Phoenix mount when you trade in an ancestral Phoenix egg. I don't actually know how you get that right now. If someone wants to chime in on that, please help out. But I don't know where you get that, but there you go. Since it's in the same area, I'm guessing it's tied to the Golden Lotus somehow, but I'm only guessing there, so we'll see. Anyways, that brings us to our next faction, the Lore Walkers. Now, they've made efforts to try and expand upon archaeology, make it a little more fun, a little more worthwhile, and in many ways they've succeeded. Because, you remember how archaeology had some of those achievements where if you got a certain amount of, if you get certain artifacts that all tie into the same story, you get an achievement for that? Now, when you get one of those achievements, Lore Walker Cho here will send you a letter to come down, and he will tell you the story, fully voice acted and everything. Which is pretty nice, and that is how you gain reputation with them. They do have a daily quest, but you don't actually get reputation for that. The only way to do it is by completing stories. Now, something else that's of note, Bran Bronzebeard is here.
Roads of forgotten knowledge are within our grasp.
He sells various items at the cost of a restored artifact. Yes, when you finish a common artifact in Pandaria, you click it and we'll crate it up. Then, you can now trade it in for various items, rather than just selling it to a vendor for a piddly amount of money. Pretty nice. Here you can get crates of various artifact fragments from other races. So yes, no more having to cross your fingers for Tol'vir sites and all that sort of thing. Awesome! Awesome! Next you've got a Lore Walker's map, which will randomize your dig sites in Pandaria, and a Lore Walker's lodestone, which will teleport you to a random active dig site in Pandaria. Very nice. Very nice. I love the lore, I love archaeology, but sometimes it got really boring, so that'll help take the edge off it.
My goods are crafted with great care.
Oh, sure. Anyways, the Lore Walker's Quartermaster also has the Lore Walker's map on the lodestone. Also, at Exalted, it has the Disc of the Flying Red Cloud. Yep, it's a mount. It's a little cloud you fly on. Dragon Ball, anybody? And the Lore Walker's tabard looks like this. Kind of neat looking. Not a big fan of the color, but still a very neat design, I'd say. And there you go. That's the Lore Walker for you. Next we have the August Celestials. These are the 4 celestial beings who guard over Pandaria. You can't get reputation with them until you have gotten revered reputation with the Golden Lotus. So definitely want to make those guys one of your first priorities because it unlocks a whole bunch of other factions that you need rep with. Okay, what do these guys got? Celestial Offering, grant you blessings. They've got some enchanting formulas, so enchanters, you're going to want those. They've got some gear. They got some gear here. Once again, they got Justice Point and Valor Point gear, same levels before. At Exalted, they have a pattern for the tailors. A 28 slot bag, the Royal Satchel. Quite nice. They've got the Reigns of the Thundering August Cloud Serpent for 10,000 gold at Exalted, which is a Cloud Serpent. And their tabard looks like this. Quite nice. I love that. That's good stuff. Right, and there you have it. Next up, we have the Shadow Pan. These are a group of elite warriors who protect Pandaria's Great Wall, which protects Pandaria from the Mantids and the Shah. Now, like the August Celestials, you cannot do dailies for these guys until you have gotten revered with the Golden Lotus, so get to work on that. Now, they don't seem to have a unique vendor just for them. These guys sell Justice and Valor gear, but it's from all different factions, not just them. I'm not sure if these are complete yet or what the story is, because
White Tiger watch over you.
they do have a tabard. I'm quite certain they do, but I have not been able to find it anywhere. So either these vendors are not complete, or I'm completely looking in the wrong place. But so far, this is all I know about the Shadow Pan. Sorry, that's all I got for you. Next up, we have the Klaxi. Now you might be thinking here, hey, wait a minute, those are Mantids, aren't those the bad guys? Well, sort of, but it's a bit of an interesting situation. The Klaxi, this is minor story spoiler here. It's not a huge thing, but if you don't want anything spoiled, you might want to skip ahead here. Anyway, the Klaxi are a special case within the Mantids who are deliberately kept separated from the Empress's hive mind. Why? Because their job is to dethrone the Empress if she is ever deemed to be a threat to the colony, so they need to be outside her control. Well, they've deemed that, but they got a problem. They can't defeat the Empress on her own. Something's made her way powerful. I'm not going to tell you what, you'll just have to find out. But anyways, they now grudgingly have to accept your help because they can't do it on their own. Now, you'll do dailies for them as usual. Now, these guys offer a couple things. What you'll notice is they charge Kuiperite for their items. Kuiperite is a metal you might have mined a while ago and wondered what it was for because you can't smelt it. So, all you blacksmiths out there, this is what it's for. They've got your blacksmithing plans, so make sure you save that stuff up and get your reputation with them. Let's see, they've also got Restorative Amber. Encases yourself in amber and restores 300k health and 150k mana over 20 seconds. Possibly good. They've got some gear, and they have the Reigns of the Amber Scorpion, a new mount, and the Klaxi Tabard. Looks nicer than I thought it would, honestly. Anyway, there you go. I believe that jewel crafters actually craft with Kuiperite, but blacksmiths, all you'll use it for is buying your stuff from the Klaxi. So, save it up. Next we have a quick stop here. The Black Prince. He is actually a faction in himself. He does not have a quartermaster or any mounts for sale or anything like that, but he's a bit of a special case. He is, if you did the quest line in the Badlands, you might know him as the uncorrupted Black Dragon who was created there. And if you're a rogue who did the legendary quest line back in Cataclysm, well, you also will know him very well. But anyways, he's in Pandaria, and he's foreseen some great disaster coming, and he wants your help to help him prepare the world for it. But you have to prove yourself to him just to because he wants to make sure you're up to the task. So his only purpose as a faction is to raise rep with him and start you on the quest line to get your legendary weapon. We still don't know what that's going to entail, so all he is basically a grind to get going. And that's pretty much all there is to him. Now, we have the Order of the Cloud Serpent. These guys, they don't have a tabard or anything like that. Instead, you'll do a quest line for them that involves hatching a wind serpent and raising it to an adult, which will become your mount, and grants you the ability to use any wind serpent mount from there on. So anyone who's done the Ravasor or the Frost Saber quest line will be quite familiar with this. Probably be pretty much the same thing. Yeah, that's what they look like as babies. And once you get enough progress with them, you can take in them baby ones as battle pets if you so desire. When you get them as mounts, they look like this. Take a look at that. Ooh, very cool. So anyway, if you want one of these dragons for your very own, just start leveling with these guys. And that's all there is to the Order of the Cloud Serpent. Next one we have is a pretty simple one, the Anglers. It's a fishing faction, yep. And look who it is, it's our old pal Nat Pagle. These guys have got some various fishing-based dailies for you to do, and they got a couple neat items for you. Let's take a look. They've got some food recipes, pretty average, but oh well if you're a collector. They have a tiny goldfish pet. It's a goldfish, it's in a floating bubble just like the seahorse. He's got for sale the Pandarian fishing pole. Increases fishing skill by 10, and it's a bamboo fishing pole. Pretty nice. Hold on there. Guy in his noisy mount. Anyways, we've got the sharpened Tuskar spear. It's a spear that does minor damage. Use, plant the spear in the ground, increases fishing skill by 15 for anyone who remains within 15 yards. Interesting. Oh, it is actually a weapon. There you go. Next we have the dragon fishing pole. Look at that. Although the bad news, it increases fishing skill by 30, so it's no better than the Kaluak fishing pole, and it doesn't give you water breathing, and it's still not as good as the Arcanite fishing pole. That will never be mine because I work on weekends. Anyways, not that we're going to lose it or anything. We have the Angler's fishing raft. You can set this on water, and you can float in the water and fish from it. Quite nice. Next we have the Reins of the Azure Water Strider. Yep, it's a rideable water strider mount, and it can walk on water in a non-battleground. Pretty nice. We have the Angler's Tabard, which looks like this. Looks a lot like Stormwind Marines. Well, that's just me. Next we have Nat's Fishing Journal, a bind to your battle.net account item. It will permanently increase your fishing skill by 50 to a maximum of 600. So if you're sick and tired of grinding fishing for all your characters, this might be right up your alley. And Nat's Hat. Increases fishing skill by 5 and attaches a special lure to the equipped fishing pole, increasing fishing by 150. So it's an improvement over the weather-beaten fishing hat or the lucky fishing hat.
Have a good one.
And there you go. That's the Anglers for you. And last, but certainly not least, we have the Tillers, the farming faction. Now, I'll show you farming in just a moment, but for right now, let's just take a quick look at the Quartermaster. Here, we've got the Jinyu Princess irrigation system. It sets up a irrigation system for your farm. The Thunder King pest repellent sets up a pest repellent for your farm. And the Earth Slasher Master Plow. These are upgrades for your farm. I'll explain more of that in a second. We have the Pandaren Scarecrow. It just sets up a little scarecrow. And a little crow comes on it and acts all cocky. Anyways, we have 3 different riding goat mounts. We have the Tiller's Tabard. There you go. We have the Jinji knife set. I think I got that right. Use: chop, mince, and julienne a fresh humanoid or beast corpse. Yeah, that's totally not creepy. Again, all it really does is turn a corpse into a big pile of meat. You don't actually get anything from it, so sorry to all you cannibals out there. You don't get to live out your glory here. Next we have Morning Glory. It is said these flowers will bloom over the graves of those who carry them. I don't actually know what this does, so if someone knows, do chime in. And we've got a couple food recipes. Spicy salmon and spicy vegetable chips. Sounds good. Anyway, let's move on to farming, and that should do it. Alright, and welcome to my little farm. After you do a short quest line, you'll agree to help Farmer Yoon in raising his farm. And by that I mean you're going to do all the work and he's just going to give you a little advice as you go along. Whatever. Anyways, your farmers start off with only 4 plots, but you'll eventually expand it to, as you can see now I've expanded it, so now I have 8. Later on you'll get rid of this wagon to have 4 more, and then you'll get rid of this rock to add 4 more, for a grand total of 16. Quite nice. So anyway, how do you farm? Okay, we've got untilled soil, so first we need to till it, like this. Yeah, you'll note at Exalted you can buy a plow which will allow you to do that all in one fell swoop. So, get to Exalted pronto. So anyway, let's plant some seeds. I've got some green cabbage and some witch berries to plant. So, let's get going. Now when you plant them, everyone is going to have some kind of a problem that you have to deal with. So, let's plant them all, and then we'll check each one to see what's wrong with them. That didn't look good. Okay. Seeds, plant the seeds, plant the seeds. Oh, this isn't looking good at all. Okay, what are our problems? This one, it's runty. It's not growing in straight. That's simple enough to fix. Grab it and jump. There you go. Now, once it says it's growing, that means it's good. So tomorrow, you'll be able to harvest it and get some veggies. Now, there are some mobs in the game who will drop them, but that's really not efficient because you need lots and lots of these things to make the feasts and stuff. So you really got to get into farming if you want to cook. So anyway, what do we got here? Infested. Ugh, there's bugs on it. Well, now there's a bug sprayer, a watering can, and a shovel, which you can find piled around here. You'll have to pick them up and use them. Once you get certain items, you won't have to use these anymore. Like if you get the pest repeller, you can just click that and get rid of all the pests. And when you get the sprinkler system, you won't need the watering can anymore. Okay, what do we got here? A weed. Only one thing to do with that. Die, weed. This one's got a weed too. Let's get it. Okay, we got tangleweeds. Gotta grab that and pull it away, like this. There we go. Get this one too. And there's lots of other things they can have. They might be parched, in which case you'll need to water them. This one's growing wild. We gotta get control of them. Oh, it's bonking me. Die. Just keep smashing this. Bite it when it tries to slam you until you get 50 domination in the corner there. Alright. Some other things, like sometimes you'll have vermin trying to steal them. You'll just have to fight them off. Sometimes your plants will be really dazzling and a bird will come down and try and steal it. You'll have to fight that off. And if ever you're unsure, you can just ask Farmer Yoon and he'll tell you. Oh, getting some nasty lag here. Ah, there we go. That's better. And there you go. It's all set up. They're all growing. By tomorrow, I can harvest them. You'll get 5 each normally, but sometimes you might get plump ones, which are more. And sometimes on certain days, some crops will grow more. There is a NPC by the name of Jogu the Drunk. If you talk to him and pay him some money, he will give you a prediction of what crops will grow the best by the next day. And also, one last thing about the Tillers faction is that not only does it have reputation gains with all the just the Tillers in general, but if we come over here, let's talk with her. You may have noticed this little heart meter in the corner. This is how much is what they personally think of you. Like, she considers me an acquaintance, not just a stranger. But anyways, as you get more reputation with them, they'll sell you better upgrades and things like that for your farm and give you more quests. So, you get reputation by doing quests for them and by giving them gifts. Each one has certain things that they like. Like Gina, what kind of gifts do you like? She likes she likes flowers, and she likes swirling mist soup. Anyways, and that's Tillers, and that's the farming faction for you, and that's all the factions I'm aware of in Mists of Pandaria. Do hope you found this informative. Until next time, be aware and be wise.